I, 18F, and my best friend Sofia, 18F, got into a fight at a party that ended with her boyfriend, Dan, 20M, hitting me. Let me give a bit of context before explaining what happened that night. About a week ago, my friend group Mike, 17M, Sam, 20M, Emilio, 19M, Rebecca, 18F, and my boyfriend Julian, 18M, decided to go to a Halloween party together. We hadn't all hung out in a while because everyone's been busy with university, so we were really looking forward to it. All fake names, by the way. The plan was to meet at Sam's house around 8 p.m. and leave for the party at 8:10 since it was only a few minutes away. Julian and I arrived around 7:50, started chatting and had a few drinks. For context, my boyfriend and I aren't heavy drinkers, but Sam kind of is. He was already halfway drunk by the time we got there. We hung out for a while, waiting for the others. By 8:20, we decided to call Sofia and Dan because there was still no sign of them. When they finally answered, they said they'd need another hour since they were still getting ready, which obviously meant it'd take even longer. When we heard that, Sam and I got pretty annoyed because it wasn't the first time this had happened. Sofia and Dan are always late, sometimes by 1 to 4 hours, and it's honestly really frustrating having to wait for them every single time. I started complaining, saying things like, "They're always late." It's honestly disrespectful at this point. And, "It's so annoying that they do this every time." Sam agreed and said similar things. Eventually, he and I decided that I would be the one to talk to them about it. Since Sam didn't want to say anything, he's trying to stay on Dan's good side. I'm usually the more direct one anyway, but I still try to be respectful when I bring stuff up. After that, Sam kept drinking to the point where it started to show. He wasn't completely drunk yet, but he was clearly not doing great. By that time it was almost 9 p.m., and there was still no sign of Sofia or Dan. So I told Sam that we should just go to the party and meet them there later, no big deal. That's when he started stumbling and saying things like, "I'm not going anywhere without Sofia. I have to wait for her. I'm not moving." I got frustrated because just a while ago he'd been complaining about them being late too. Not only were they wasting our time, but also making things complicated for our other friends, Mike and Rebecca, who were waiting at Rebecca's house, which was also near the party. Rebecca's mom, who was supposed to give them a ride, was getting irritated because of the delay. I told Sam seriously that we were already an hour late, and that if he had told me earlier he wasn't going to leave without Sofia, I could have gone with Julian so Mike and Rebecca wouldn't have had to wait either. Sam got upset at that, left the kitchen where we were all hanging out, and we heard him yelling into his phone. Julian and I didn't pay much attention because Sam tends to act weird and has sudden mood swings sometimes. After a while, he stopped yelling, came back to the kitchen, and told us we'd be leaving for the party in 5 minutes and that Sofia and Dan would meet us there. When we finally arrived, we met up with Mike and Rebecca, who were also a bit frustrated. By that time it was around 9:30 p.m., meaning we were already an hour and a half late. About 5 minutes later, Dan, Sofia, and another friend, Emilio, showed up. When they got there, Dan wanted to park his car, but the people running the party told us there wasn't any available parking. That made everyone even more irritated, since we were already super late and now couldn't even get inside until they figured out what to do with the car. We tried to stay calm and offer solutions, like suggesting they drive back to Sam's house and come back in an Uber, or maybe try convincing the staff to let them park for a bit. But Dan wasn't open to any of those ideas. He just kept saying he'd see what to do. I also tried talking to Sofia, but she ignored me completely and wouldn't even look at me. After a while, the security guard finally said they could park since Sofia uses a wheelchair. But Dan refused and insisted he'd go drop the car off at a friend's house, which was kind of far away. That point I just gave up. I decided not to get involved anymore and let them handle it however they wanted. They took Sofia out of the car so she could stay at the party with us, and then Dan and Emilio left to go park the car at that friend's place. Once we got inside, Sofia started making everyone uncomfortable. She was completely ignoring me and barely talking to anyone else, and when she did, she was being kind of rude. For the record, I never stopped keeping an eye on her. I always knew where she was and who she was with because I wasn't going to let her be alone in a place where we barely knew anyone. After about 50 minutes at the party, I noticed that Sofia had moved somewhere, and suddenly I couldn't see her anymore. I got worried, so I went to look for her. When I finally found her, she was alone under a tree, talking on the phone. So I went up to her. The conversation went something like this. Me. Don't go out of my sight, it's dangerous and you can't be alone. Her, in an aggressive tone, leave me alone. Why do you care? You've been ignoring me the whole night. Me. You're the one who's been ignoring me. You showed up late, treated me horribly. And I'm not going to chase after you begging for attention. Her yelling, I'm really mad at you, that's why. Get away from me. I don't want to see you or talk to you. Me upset, why would you be mad at me? You guys were the ones who made us 2 hours late. And I haven't even done anything to you. Her. Sam told us how you were all talking badly about me, and he was the only one who defended me. Dan heard everything too, and he's really mad at you. Me. We never talked badly about you. Everyone was just frustrated, including Sam, because you're always late and make us wait. It's happened before, and it keeps happening. Her, shouting even louder, shut up and let me talk. Shut up, let me talk. Me, okay, talk. Go on, I'm listening. Her. This whole party has been awful. You've all ignored me and made me feel left out. I'm not having fun. I'm leaving. You're all terrible friends. Me. You've been treating everyone horribly and making things really uncomfortable. How are we supposed to feel good around you when you've been acting like this all night? Then Sam showed up, and I confronted him right away, asking what Sofia was even talking about, why he called her, and why she thought we'd been saying bad things about her. He was already drunk, and later he admitted he was also high, so nothing he said made much sense at that point. After a few seconds, Sam just walked away. Sofia tried to leave too, but her wheelchair got tangled in the string lights near the dance floor, which ended up unplugging the music and making her even more anxious. I knelt down to help her and tried to untangle the wheel from the cables, but in her panic, she accidentally moved and ran over my hand. I yelled for her to stay still because at that point I was already overwhelmed both by everything happening and now the pain in my hand. While I was still helping her, one of the security guards came over, and between the two of us, we finally managed to free her chair. Sofia immediately started to roll away, so I followed behind to make sure she'd be safe in the crowd. That's when the real problem happened. Dan and Emilio came running into the party, and as soon as Dan saw me walking next to Sofia, he ran toward us. I don't know if he meant to push me, if it was adrenaline, anger, or just wanting to protect Sofia, but he ended up hitting me really hard in the arm. The hit was so strong that I felt a sharp, throbbing pain for a long time afterward. They both left immediately after that. And after all the stress, the yelling, and now the pain, I completely broke down. I went to find Sam and started yelling at him. I don't even remember exactly what I said. I was just furious and hurt. After yelling, I burst into tears and called my mom. My boyfriend, Julian, hadn't seen the fight or the moment I got hit. He only noticed when I started shouting at Sam and ran after me when I left. My mom came to pick us up. I told her what happened, and she was furious. She wanted to file a police report against Dan right away, but I managed to calm her down. When we got home, Julian stayed with me to comfort me until he had to leave. The next day, I woke up feeling awful. My arm still hurt, and I was emotionally exhausted. I didn't want to do anything, but Sofia and I ended up talking. We cleared a few things up. I explained what really happened with the call and told her exactly how things went down, and she believed me. But I also told her about Dan hitting me and that I wasn't going to just let it slide. I was furious and told her he had no right to hit me. She tried to justify him, but I wasn't having it. After going back and forth for a while, she said, I wouldn't let something like this ruin our friendship. If it were the other way around, I'd do everything I could to fix it because I don't want to lose you. And I replied, if it were the other way around, none of this would have happened. Because honestly, I'm always the one who tries to communicate and fix things. The most I ever do is cry because I'm a sensitive person. She didn't respond to that and just said it'd be better to talk in a week when I've calmed down. The problem is, the next day my dad found out what happened, that Dan hit me. He wants to press charges and talk to Sofia's parents. I tried to calm him down, But he's still furious and says he hasn't decided whether to take legal action yet. He's just angry that someone hurt me. I feel like this whole situation is too much. It's really breaking me down, especially because I'm also dealing with other personal stuff right now. Today I just couldn't take it anymore. I cried, screamed, and even had a panic attack. Julian had to hold me to stop me from hurting myself. I honestly don't know what to do anymore. Should I try to fix things with Sofia? Should I just let the friendship go? I told her I'd like to talk in person next week, but I don't even know what I'd say or how I'd feel seeing her again. AITA. And what should I do about Sofia?